and the firecracker went down the middle of the pipe, and it go boom, water go everywhere at the college. When the dean gets mad, to say, they have to go report to the dean's office, and dean calls their parents. Says when a kid comes home from school, say, "I got news for you. You got two choices: Greece or jail."
It's one of Frankie's brand new jokes. Here's a question for Frankie MacDonald from a live YouTube viewer, James Turk, saying, Frankie, what's your favorite vacation destination?
French Polynesia is one of them.
Also, where someone's asking you, Emily from Twitch is saying, have you ever had any Hello Kitty stuff?
No.
No. What kind of toys did you play with when you were a kid, Frankie?
I played Dinky Cars and things like that.
Jim in Chicago is saying, throw troublemakers in the garbage.
And when a guy is driving a bike, he fell down there and go boo 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 boo. The guy starts crying. The ambulance will show up and take the guy to the hospital. Then they go to the emergency room and go to the doctor and say, "Okay, doctor, this guy's all broken up. Throw him in the dumpster.
Put him in the garbage." If you would like to invite your special guests, you can now, Frankie. Okay.
Hey, Frankie.
Hey, Jason, I'm doing great.
Great. So we have Frankie MacDonald and Jason Marshall. And Jason just informed us that he's from, you have your own podcast called We Don't Have Cookies. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. And I always have Frankie on. He's a great guy to talk to, and it's a pleasure to be here. He always brings you up, and it's nice to have this crossover finally happening.
Welcome, Jason. I was watching some of your podcasts yesterday and a little bit of your video, and I really like what you do. It's pretty cool.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate that. Yeah, a lot of it has to do with Frankie. He's a great guy, always coming in with the weather, and he's one of the things that fans like the most. So big shout out to him.
Are you still there, Frankie?
Yes, I'm here. I'm doing great so far. And how's weather in Dayton, Ohio?
It is very cold today. There's a lot of snow on the ground, but besides that, I can't complain. It's a beautiful day.
So sorry if I keep missing some of the questions here. If you guys give me a minute, I'm going to read some of the questions. I'll start with the ones that everybody can see. Does Jason approve of the Cookie Monster's behavior on Sesame Street?
I definitely approve, yes.
Emily is saying, for God's sakes, get Jason some Hello Kitty cookies. So everyone's weaving their way into each other's life, basically. It's great fun.
I would love some Hello Kitty cookies.
Here's one from JOCan32. This is what I love about the internet. And he's saying, do you know Jeppe Walder from Mars Stegma Mikkelsen?
Is that for me or Frankie?
I don't think that's for anybody. I don't.
And a quick side note, this is the first time me and Frankie have seen each other on video. This is incredible. This is really nice.
How does that make you feel, Frankie?
It makes me feel great.
Are you having fun so far, Frankie?
Yes. That means next week, then it'll be Base Guy Show and Trey Campbell ESPN 97.5 FM crossover if he's not working.
Oh my goodness. The work doesn't stop, Jason.
Frankie's always hustling, man. He's always hooking people up and making the world a better place.
I agree. So Jason, we don't have cookies, and your handle on Twitter is Jason Marshall 2. Is that right?
That's right.
And when is your show on?
Typically it's on Mondays. Because things have been so hectic lately, I've had to take a time off here and there, but it's usually out on Mondays. It's always a good time. Coming up, I'm going to have a comedian, Andy Erickson, on. She was from Scream Queens. Might have seen her on America's Got Talent or Last Comic Standing. She's one of my favorite guests. Let's see, former White House Director of Communications, Anthony Scaramucci, is going to be on. He was on Big Brother. And he's had quite an interesting journey from working in the White House to completely turning against the White House. And it's been a wild ride. And thankfully, I've been there for it all. So got some good stuff coming up.
That's awesome. How do you go about getting these guests that are so well known?
When the show first started, I just talked to local comedians. And the reason I bring that up is one of them I'm still good friends with. She calls me the Forrest Gump of podcasting because it all just sort of falls in my lap, and I don't know how I get them.
Could you tell people about your show while I get my technology fixed?
It's basically a absurdist kind of comedy show. I bring people on that I'm familiar with in some way. Either I'm friends with them or I'm a fan of theirs from watching a TV show or something like that. And I ask them some really strange questions, and it can go one of two ways. Either they roll with it and we have a great time, or if you listen to my last episode, they are completely confused and it's kind of rough. So,
I noticed that. I was listening to it and I thought, wait a minute, there's a twist here. So you've changed the format a little bit, and I think it gets people's attention, which is great.
yeah, like I said, either people absolutely love it or you can just feel the energy over the phone. They can't wait to hang up. And in its own sick way, that's pretty entertaining too.
We have Van Goat from North Carolina saying, Jason has a great radio voice. Can he sing or play bass?
No, but I appreciate the compliment. I always wanted to play bass. I thought that would be cool.
It is a fun instrument because you can just hang out on one note and groove, you know?
Yeah, when I was growing up, Red Hot Chili Peppers were a big deal, and I always thought Flea was cool, and I wanted to play the bass. So,
yeah, Flea is great. He's a great person too. If you follow him on Instagram, he's really philosophical, but fun at the same time.
I'll have to check him out. I actually forgot about that till just now, so that's something I'll have to do when I get off here.
Thanks for that, Jason. We have a question from John on YouTube Live asking, Frankie, do you prefer Dooley's or Steel City?
Both of them.
You prefer both of them. That's great. I choose both. It is strange Jason gets those types of guests without Hello Kitty cookies. Just thinking how many more famous would people come on if he had Hello Kitty cookies.
We'll have to do an experiment, and you tell me where to get some Hello Kitty cookies. I'll send them out, and we'll see what happens.
Guys, how are you enjoying winter? Asks Reddy on YouTube. How are you enjoying winter, Jason and Frankie?
That means a lot of leaves are gone. I took pictures of fallen leaves and things like that.
I'm enjoying it very much because that means I don't have to mow my grass right now.
Agreed. And Frankie, I love, I don't know if you've ever seen that, Jason. Frankie posts stuff and it goes viral and it's famous, but once in a while he'll take a picture of a pigeon or a fox or something like that. Those are my favorite.
Yes, and that's my most viewed picture on the Weather Network. Tokens back in May 2020.
Of the fox, Frankie?
Fox, right from the overpass, I took a picture of fox. And I posted online. So many people see that on the Weather Network website.
Do you think it's the same fox that you see each time?
Different foxes.
Here's a valid question for the whole world. John on YouTube is asking, Frankie, is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
No, it's just a normal movie.
I think John is disappointed. It's a bit difficult with two guests on at the same time, so I'd like to go back to Jason Marshall from We Don't Have Cookies, who is host of comedy podcasts. We Don't Have Cookies, available on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, Spotify, Stitcher, and anywhere podcast. Are you available at the Couche-Tard, Jason?
I may be.
So
it's hard to say. It seems like this podcast is somehow just infiltrated everywhere, so it's possible.
It's possible.
I don't know what that is, but it's possible.
The Couche-Tard is Quebec. I'm in Quebec. It's French here, and the Couche-Tard is our 7-Eleven.
Oh, okay. Now, I recently got on a place called Ghana, which is, I guess, India's version of Spotify. And there's a lot of people in India checking out the podcast. So shout out to them if anybody from India is watching.
Oh, that's awesome. I've traveled every city in India twice when I used to be a musician.
Really?
I spent a lot of time there, and they definitely know their technology and mobile phones and connections.
Nice. I always wanted to go to India. That had to be fascinating.
It was. It was probably the craziest adventure of my life. It's kind of like boot camp of traveling.
Yeah, it sounds like a good time. I always had this fascination with elephants, and that's another plus for me wanting to go over there.
So you have viewers from India checking out your show now.
Yeah, I'm really surprised in just a short amount of time. They have become the number one country as far as downloads. So I don't know if that means people who are in America just aren't into me, but Indians are, or if there's just a lot more people in India that listen.
There's a billion people there, eh? It's crazy.
Yeah. So either way, I'll take it.
It's crazy population. In California, there's more people in California than in Canada.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, I had no idea. I knew it was very populated, but that's a shocking statistic.
Here's a one for you, Frankie. We have our friend Kira saying, I would like Bass Guy to be a guest on Davey 504 and play. That would be awesome.
Yes.
Have you heard of Davey 504, Frankie?
No, not yet.
He's a bass guy, and he's completely viral. He's amazing. He's absolutely amazing. He's self-taught, and he has something like crazy, like 5 million subscribers. So it's amazing what we can do here from our rooms or basements or bedrooms or whatever, and make a whole world, isn't it, Jason? How did you start your world?
I started in probably the worst way possible. It was in this house here, but at the time it was abandoned and I was remodeling it. So when you would come in, the front room was completely gutted, and this room had drywall everywhere. I think a mattress still wrapped. We sat in rocking chairs, and I had a mixing board in the middle of the room. And I'm sure that it was not the most pleasant experience for the guests who would come over, but thankfully they were very gracious about it. And maybe a couple years after that, it's evolved into finally a livable home. and
it looks cozy. It looks really
now.
Cool. It looks cozy and fun. It looks cozy and fun down there. It looks like Wayne's World.
Yeah, it took me a while, but finally got the house where I want it. This is actually my childhood home, so I'm very happy to own it now.
Oh, that's amazing that you own it and you grew up. You played there as a kid, basically.
Yeah. It was a nice childhood because it's out in the middle of nowhere, so it's very peaceful. So I love that.
So there's a question from John Husser on YouTube saying, Jason, is Columbus the best city in Ohio, and where does it rank in best U.S. cities?
I would say, yeah, it's definitely the best city. I love Dayton because that's where I'm at. But Columbus.
Oh, I thought
you
meant like dating people. I was going to say, I love dating too.
I think my wife would be mad if I said that. But yeah, I love Columbus. Columbus is a lot of fun. I'm not very well traveled, so I can't really give a proper listing on where it ranks as far as U.S. cities. But I would say if it's not in the top 10, it's very close. I would say that.
Sounds like a nice place to live. I'm definitely going to check it out. I love going on.
You're getting the COVID vaccine too.
Yeah, that's right.
When are you getting the vaccine, Jason?
I have no idea. I don't know when they're coming out. So I guess whenever they roll those out.
Frankie does predictions, and he predicted, before it happened, he predicted that the army would be out in the streets of America, and he got that right. And then he's predicted that when the vaccine comes out, there'll be like lineups at the pharmacy and hospitals like 20 miles long. So.
I can see that.
The military will be there. Sergeant will be there screaming.
What will the sergeant be yelling, Frankie? Frankie says we have to stay 48 feet apart from each other.
You know, I can see there being a mile-long wait just to get the vaccine because I've drove past the liquor stores and there's almost a mile-long wait just to get inside there. So,
Frankie and I produced a song. We produced a song together, Jason. It's on my YouTube if you just look up. It's called Coronavirus Blues.
Yeah, Frankie's a great guy. He definitely knows how to put things together, that's for sure.
Frankie, we have a question for you. Are you ready for the question?
Yes.
Frankie. Frankie, how are your dogs CJ and Max?
They're doing great.
Can you tell us about your dogs?
Pomeranian. CJ's a big Pomeranian. Max is a little Pomeranian.
Frankie, I have a question for you. Grease or jail?
Grease.
Jason, grease or jail?
I'm going to have to go with Frankie and say Grease.
Yeah,
After you flush a firecracker down the toilet, and the firecracker went in the middle of the pipe, it go boom.
Would you pay tickets to go see Frankie live and tell his jokes, Jason?
100%.
People think it's a joke, but like Frankie MacDonald says he's going on a world tour. He's going to do comedy and weather and questions, everything.
And dancing.
And I think it's going to happen. I think it's a real thing.
Dancing.
I definitely hope so, because it's fun to see how Frankie has branched out over the years, because I have been a fan of Frankie since, 2010, something like that.
Yeah.
And he just went from doing weather, now he's doing comedy, he's doing dancing, he's got characters on his show. It's a lot of fun to watch Frankie. It's great to see him expand what he does.
After when you flushed the firecracker down the toilet went boom at the university, and water everywhere. They have to go to the dean. The dean gets so mad.
Should I try to show the video now, Frankie?
Yeah.
Okay, we might blow up the computer here, but everybody stand by and just listen to Frankie's brand new joke.
What happens is you put the firecracker down the toilet, the firecracker went to the middle of the pipe, and the pipe blew up and go boom.
Boom, huge, and everyone in school's like, what was that? Did you hear that noise? That guy just blew up the toilet with a firecracker.
Then they say grease or jail.
You have two choices: Greece or jail.
Grease.
So he has to go to school in Greece. He's got to go get his passport updated and a visa, right? A student visa.
Because who will pay for the college?
The college. So everyone at college is going to be mad at him, saying, we have to pay thousands of dollars to send you away to school because you blew up the toilet.
Say grease or jail.
And real quick, I don't know. I can't see myself on here because I just see Frankie. But back here, right above the fish tank, is a whole shelf dedicated to Frankie MacDonald. It wasn't set up just for the show. It's there all the time. So make sure if you're able to, I know it's the holiday season, to go out, buy that book, buy the bobblehead, get the action figure. It's all good stuff. I own it all. So if I can buy it, you can buy it.
I agree completely, Jason. You're right.
Yeah, it's very well priced and it's good stuff. So make sure you help Frankie out.
I could see where you're pointing, and that's awesome that you have the Frankie shrine. I got one as well, and I'm holding right now the action figure and a couple of the bobbleheads. They talk. And if you take a picture of the action figure, for example, and post it on your social media, Frankie will share it, and you'll immediately become famous.
Nice.
And did you hear about that? And you got a tree named after me, Jason.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I planted a tree out in the yard, and it's the Frankie MacDonald tree.
Oh, that's amazing. What kind of tree did you say you planted?
It's a peach tree.
A peach tree. Oh, of course. Yeah. Going to the
like
country.
I say peaches at karaoke.
That's right. That's how it all came about.
That's amazing. And we did a cover version. It's on my YouTube of peaches, and you've grown a tree, and this Frankie thing is really branching out.
Yeah, it has. And nobody deserves it more than him. He's a great guy.
Does Frankie, this is from Jim in Chicago, we won't be much longer. Jim is saying, does Frankie have a tornado chasing on his bucket list?
And tornado chasing could be dangerous.
Yeah, you got to be careful for chasing tornadoes. Would you like to be near a tornado, he's asking Frankie.
Tornadoes can destroy houses and things like that. They can, hail's their nemesis. Large hail, that's their nemesis. That can hurt people. Hailstones can hurt people.
Frankie, here's another question from, I think, your friend in Nova Scotia, John Husser, is saying, Frankie, does Edward the Lion know Fred the Bear?
Yes.
Now, you've heard it here.
Real quick, I think it was John that asked about the tornadoes. Is that right?
Yeah, that's why I interrupted. I was going to say, if there's any questions you read on the board you want to respond to, you can go for it.
Well, I was doing a podcast here one day and a tornado went by my house, and it scared me to death because typically we have a tornado siren that goes off when the weather's bad or there's some kind of a weather alert that you get on your phone, something like that. But this popped up out of nowhere, and I always wanted to see a tornado. I thought it would be cool, and every time there was a tornado warning, I always kind of looked out the window. But this day, I didn't even see it. I was sitting here doing a podcast, talking to a guy from Ireland, and all of a sudden, I kept hearing this kind of a rumbling noise, and I thought it was my computer tower at first. And then it just kept getting louder, and I thought, man, I hope this thing doesn't explode. And then I realized it's not that. And like I said, I live out in the country. It's a very rural area. So I thought, well, maybe there's a tractor coming down the road. And then it sounded like the tractor was right outside of my window. And I lean back and I can see out a glass door. And there's just stuff going everywhere. And all of a sudden, my heart just starts pounding. I'm trying to figure out what to do. The guest was right in the middle of answering a question. And I was wondering to myself, man, I got to tell this guy, I got to get to the cellar. And around the time he finished answering the question and I thought of what I was going to say, it already went by, everything was over, and it was a very bizarre experience.
Wow, I'm glad you're okay, Jason.
Yeah, thank you. And it was odd that it happened, and I may be the first person that was podcasting during a tornado.
You guys in the States get a lot of storms, don't you? So
yeah, last year, and I think it was one day, Dayton had somewhere like 6 tornadoes or something like that. I mean, it just devastated the place. It was crazy.
I'm not sure, Luke. Frankie, MacDonald, do you have any stories about crazy weather that you saw?
I saw hail in 2014, and I saw funnel clouds, that's another thing, and massive blizzards in the wintertime. Sometimes they get severe thunderstorms in the summertime. Hurricane Matthew flooded Sydney, Nova Scotia in October 2016 on Monday, on Thanksgiving Day, on Monday, October 10th, 2016. Sydney, Nova Scotia had 224 millimeters of rain in one day.
That's a lot of rain. John is asking. So, John, I understand now that John is the guy who called in before you, whose name is Jack.
Then
my name is Jack.
Then October 11th, 2016, I lost power for 36 hours until Wednesday, October 12th in the afternoon in Sydney, Nova Scotia. Hurricane Matthew was the worst rainstorm of my life.
And were you scared, Frankie?
That means everything was flooded. They flooded everything. Flooded Steel City that time.
How did you get on with no internet?
I just walked down the boardwalk to find internet signals. And I went to certain areas to find internet signals.
But was it dangerous out there?
Things like that.
Was it dangerous, Frankie, to walk around?
It wasn't dangerous. Then I had to walk down the boardwalk. I had to wake up really early in the morning on October 12th just to walk down the boardwalk to charge the phone because there's still no power in my area.
Frankie, do you remember Van Goght?
Yeah.
He
builds swim pools and things like that.
That's right. You have a photographic memory, Frankie. Van Goght in North Carolina is saying, should they name a hurricane after Frankie?
Yeah. They had Typhoon Frankie in 1996, Pacific Typhoon season.
So sorry if I missed any of the questions. We have Emily here saying it gets really scary during outbreak season here. I was surrounded by tornadoes one year when I lived in Oklahoma.
I did a video on Friday, October 21st, 2016 about massive earthquake to hit New Zealand anytime soon. I said 7.0 greater magnitude earthquake on November 13th. I absolutely got that prediction right.
You nailed it, Frankie. So thank you. Like Jason said, it's all about the live viewers of the show, the viewers. If I missed any of the questions, I apologize, and I'll answer them on the comments once I post this video. Did you have fun today again, Jason?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely loved it. It was great, and love to come back sometime.
Thank you for being a guest on the Base Guy Show via Frankie MacDonald. Can you once again tell the viewers how they can find what you do?
Yeah, just search for We Don't Have Cookies. It's available anywhere you're listening to podcasts or probably music in general. It's on Spotify, Google, just everywhere. And on Twitter, it's Jason Marshall 2, and Instagram and Facebook, it's We Don't Have Cookies.
Thank you very much, Jason.
And by the way, it was great to be here. Frankie's been talking about this for, I'd say, at least a year. So it's really nice to be here, and it's great to see Frankie.
Yes, thank you, Frankie, from both of us, Frankie. Thanks. You did a great job, Frankie.
Best of luck to you. I'm Frankie MacDonald. You're listening to Bass Guy Radio Show.
The Bass Guy, Snow. Did you enjoy this video? Well, then become a Patreon member today over here and get some cool rewards. Click over here to check out a cool video, and to subscribe to the Bass Guy Show, click here. Bass Guy loves you. No fear.